Hello there, this is Jedi Master Daniel 96, your friendly neighborhood wannabe future Star Wars writer slash director, and in today's video I will be talking about the season 3 finale of The Mandalorian, and I will give you like a rundown, like go over some certain things from the episode, and then give you my thoughts at the end. And here we go. So with this episode of The Mandalorian, it is Chapter 24, The Return, and it builds off last week's episode as Din Djarin gets captured by the Empire, so that's that bit there. And then, the main setting is on Mandalore, and there's this big battle that goes on Mandalore. And then, Bo-Katan leads the other Mandalorians into battle, so we have that part there. There's a bit where Din will break free of, the stormtroopers that capture him, and then we have a moment with Din and Grogu working together to take on the stormtroopers that Moff Gideon created. And then, there's that bit, and then the armorer will bring in some reinforcements to the battle, and it's just some pretty epic battle that goes on in this, finale. I'd say, it was really awesome. Like, Bo-Katan wields the Darksaber in action, and all that stuff, and then, we have the return of the Praetorian Guards in it. It is just action-packed, this episode. And we'll have, one of their cruisers will be a decoy when some of the reinforcements are, go on the battlefield. And then, the ship will crash. Then we have a fight with Bo-Katan and Moff Gideon. Moff Gideon breaks the Darksaber. And there's a bit where the Praetorian Guards try to get at Grogu, but Grogu, does all his force jumps to get away from their blades and all that. And then, we have that bit there, and it's just intense. It's like, you kind of like, oh no, they're gonna kill Grogu, but Grogu survives, so we have that bit. And Moff Gideon is defeated, and he dies. So, the book is closed on Moff Gideon in The Mandalorian, which we know who the big bad is gonna be of the Mandoverse. They don't confirm Thrawn, but we will get Grand Admiral Thrawn in the future, eventually. Which it is bound to happen, like, whatever they're gonna do in Ahsoka with Thrawn, is gonna be something of the future of the Mandoverse. And it's been pretty much set out to be that way, where, Thrawn is gonna be this big bad of the Mandoverse. Which it is pretty much, as I said, it's going to be like that. So, I digress. I just wanted to ramble on that bit, but we are getting it. Even give me more of Pelion in there as well for, the next villain as well. And, more Brendel Hux would be awesome as well. And, heck, you know what would even be cooler in the future for a villain to replace Moff Gideon? Why not bring Natasi Dala and/or Usain Izzard into canon with the Mandalorian? I think that would be some pretty cool villains for future Mandalorian seasons as well, to replace Moff Gideon. So, the possibilities are endless, so we'll just have to wait and see. And also another thing with Moff Gideon, he had some clones in there too, so we do go with the cloning. And he wanted to clone them so they had the Force, which was an interesting concept with his cloning. And, hopefully we see more of the cloning stuff in the future. Even his clones get defeated as well in this episode. So we have that bit there. And then, obviously we'll probably tie in with the Snoke stuff, with the sequel trilogy, and then probably, with the resurrected Palpatine stuff in the Rise of Skywalker. So, we will get those more sequel trilogy connections in the future. We obviously have, the early phase of Praetorian Guards from this week's episode and last week's episode. So, so we are kind of, as I said in last week's episode, getting all the First Order stuff in there. We'll have to see in all the future seasons and all that, but Yeah, so we have that bit. I mean, Bo-Katan, tries to bring the Mandalore all together. And then, you know, Din will take Grogu as an apprentice. So we have that bit there. And then, in it, Din will go to the beach planet where we saw the live action Zeb, which he meets up with Carson Teva. And then you have Dave Filoni in the background talking. So you have that bit there, and then pretty much Din talks with Carson Teva and all that stuff. And then they get an IG unit that Grogu sees, and then he brings it back to Navarro, and then Din and Grogu are just living life. So that's a little rundown of the episode, and my thoughts on it. I really did enjoy this episode, and I actually did enjoy season 3. I feel like season 3 is just getting way too much hate, and I'm not sure why. Is it like, what, do people just want a cameo fest? Like, is that all you people want? Or is it, I just don't get it. I mean, who knows? People just want to nitpick at the dumbest things. That's just me. Like, who knows what people's opinions are? I mean, everyone's entitled to have their opinion, but if you go on the world of Twitter, in the Star Wars Twitter thing, you know how people are. You'll have some people that like to be all overly critical of things, but it is what it is, and we'll have to see what goes on in the future. So, that does it for me in this video. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment what you think down below. Did you like this episode? Did you not like this episode? What were your overall thoughts of Season 3? Let me know all that down below. Share this video. Let's get to 600 subscribers. Follow me on Twitter, DanRS87, Instagram, JMD96_YT, Facebook, JamMasterDaniel96. May the Force be with you. This is the way, and stay bombad.